How's it going, guys? I am Christopher McGee. I'm the owner of Halcyon Real Estate here in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm associated with the Keller Williams Marcus Center in Sugar House. Today is President's Day, February 20th, 2023, and this is the real estate numbers. Every week, I'm going through what's happening in the market exactly and showing you the numbers of what I find on the MLS so that you can track the trends and see what's going on in our market here. So let's check out these numbers. First, our inventory continues to come down, but not as quickly as it has been coming down, but we did dip below 7,000 to 6,975. That's the number of active properties on our market, looking for an offer as we speak. Number two is average days on market for the prior week, and the average days on market for the prior week was 62. That's the number of days that it takes before a property on the MLS gets an offer that is accepted and goes under contract. So right now that average sits just over 2 months. Last week, our average list price was $622,333, but our average sold price was $605,524. And the difference between those two numbers is what I'm most interested in, which is $16,809 in favor of the buyer. So on average, all the homes that were sold last week, they were sold at $16,800 under what the original asking price the seller had asked for was. The fourth number we look at is the number of properties sold in the prior week, and that number in this last week was 489. Our next number is 5,041. Continuing to travel up just a bit, this is our number of properties that are currently under contract. Our sixth number is 583. This is the number of price reductions that were made in the prior week. And our last number is the number of times in the prior week that a listing contract was either canceled or expired or withdrawn from the MLS. And that number is 328. All right, my take is still essentially what it's been for the last several weeks. What I've been saying is, if you're a buyer, the next couple of months may well be the best time to buy real estate this year. And I've been saying that if you're a seller, that it is starting to look better now than it has looked for you for the prior year. So I've been saying that it's starting to look better for sellers, but there's a number on here in particular, of these 7 numbers that I go over, that looks like that's not the case. Doesn't look like it's the case, that it's a better market for you now as a seller than it has been for the previous year, when I keep reporting that the difference between the average list price and the average sold price is in the buyer's favor. So why am I saying that it looks better now for sellers than it has for the previous year? If the actual end result of putting the home on the market and having it go under contract, and then when it closes and the transaction actually happens and money actually moves, the seller's getting less than they were asking for. Well, two things. The first of those two things is that $16,800 in the buyer's favor on average as of last week, that still looks better than it did last summer and fall. But the second reason I keep saying it's starting to look better for sellers than it has in the previous year is all the other numbers. So as inventory continues to come down, as our number of sold properties goes up, as the number of properties under contract continue to go up, as our price reductions come on average down, those numbers cannot continue to go in those directions without sellers being able to ask for more. Or if not ask for more, at least get what they're asking for in the first place. Now that's assuming that you, the seller, and the agent who's helping you decide how to price your home, that's assuming that you've done your due diligence properly and you're not trying to list it higher than what comparable properties in your area are suggesting you should price your house at. If you're doing that, you're expecting more than what the market is telling you can expect right now. But if you're pricing your home right, if you're looking at comparable properties and you're pricing it right in that area where comparable properties suggest it should be, and not comparable properties a year ago, and not comparable properties 6 months ago, not even comparable properties 2 months ago, you want to find comparable properties within the last month, and if possible, within the last week. That really dials you down so you know what the market is doing right now, not last year. So if you price correctly, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, and our inventory continues to come down and the number of sales continue to go up, which is what's happening and has been the trend for a few months, that can't continue and you not be able to get what you ask for. And there are people who are getting what they're asking for right now. Those are the people who are wisely pricing their property, who have hired an agent who will do everything possible and not leave any stones unturned to market that property. So I'll just sum up by saying it again. I think the next couple of months before spring hits and all the buyers who are going to buy this year hit the market with the warmer weather, if you can get in the market, if you want to buy a house this year, if you can get into the market and buy something in the next couple of months before that happens and you have all that competition against a diminishing amount of inventory, then that might be the best time for you to buy, is in the next couple of months. And if you've been thinking to sell anytime in the last year, but been holding back because of the downshift that we've been in, just know that all the trends right now really point to us being on the tail end of that downshift. Things are leveling out, interest rates have stopped going up. It's a little volatile right now, but it's not on what we all see as either an up or a down trend. We're hovering around 6%. Okay, so if you have any questions about any of the things I've brought up in this video, what any of these numbers mean, go ahead and hit me in the comments here. If you or anybody you know is looking or thinking to buy or sell a home, or both, in the coming months, and particularly if it's important to you to not leave any of those stones unturned if you're a seller, in getting the marketing as vast an outreach and as professionally done as it can be done, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. I do know exactly what I'm doing. And if you'd like to stay educated on what's happening in the Utah real estate market, there's just not going to be a better way than to hit that subscribe and get these weekly updates of the real estate numbers. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.